got the spear, you got the bow. You're trying to maintain that distance, trying to maintain the pace. But then you got to worry about those guitars coming in and messing your whole day up.
Yeah, you know, the simple things.
Yeah.
All right, so simpLe's gonna be rocking the Azuri pick, and we saw how well Godly could play that, but I don't know, spear versus guitars have been kind of the name of the game today, at least for our block, and so far it seems like really the guitars have been winning out those matchups, or mostly just up close weapons have been. And you know, perfect case in point, unarmed, taking a lot of damage against Fozey. There is a little bit of a comeback string here from Fozey's side. simpLe's off stage, and the signature doesn't quite connect against simpLe, but again, these overextensions, when you have the spear that can just double down air so much, it's easier said than done, but simpLe's not going to give up just yet. Still orange on damage. Mal make that a very deep orange, but again, full stage control. Fozey jumping around, trying to find those punishes. Can't quite find the down sig, but simpLe's there just in time. Spot dodge into the grounded game control. And it's just kind of this back and forth ballet between the two players where it's just chip damage back and forth.
Yeah, although it seemed to me like Fozey is able to more reliably get back onto stage, you know, from these edgeguard situations, whereas simpLe, like, they've been having a bit of a tougher time. Fozey's been able to kind of maintain that distance with the spear, and we see it leading to, you know, the first stock just maintaining that control of the stage. Fozey, simpLe kind of having to run directly into them, so that's where my mind is at right now from just this game one, my initial observations.
And Fozey does take that lead. A wealth of damage applied to them, though. And this is a game of punishes. You can see those spot dodges. You can see these aggressive dashes into, you know, the spacing and reads, but someone like Fozey, going for a lot of these kind of jump executions, hasn't really been able to land them consistently compared to simpLe, but still does have that lead, not so much anymore. The recovery is out, but now it's down to an even 2-2 stock line. And this is a very close game for game one, Bio. This might go to game 5.
Yeah, I mean, all right, Fozey does grab the weapon there. That's always on your mind, is like, how well can you play keep away once you take your opponent's stock? And still, life lead here for Fozey. How well can you extend it? How well can you maintain versus something as terrifying as simpLe with these guitars?
Oh, but again, a lot of these signature punishes, simpLe by now must be surely reading into those from Fozey. But Fozey's not going to give up just yet. Trying to be directly inside the hitbox of simpLe here with that bow, but the spear is all a completely different game. Good for the punish there. A little bit of chip damage yet again. Deep red for simpLe. All it takes is one signature from this pick in order to bring that down to a simple one stock line for simpLe side, but no. Instead, simpLe goes across the entirety of the underside of the map. There it is, the throw into the sky, never to return except for the new stock. It's simpLe's last stock for game number one. Fozey does have that lead still, but again, not by much. If simpLe could just find a simple string bio, it'll be a different story.
And this is kind of what I mean. Like, look how comfortable Fozey is off stage. Like, it never really feels like they're the one being pressured. You know, simpLe has these openings. You know, Fozey misses a sig, Fozey, you know, goes for a read, but simpLe's not really able to capitalize on it in the way that you would expect from them.
Oh, and simpLe, no chance of a recovery. Fozey, it was a very close first stock, but once that second stock came out, Fozey was just really able to find this great blend of aggressive play off of the bow and then stepping back a little bit with the spear in order to make sure that all their bases were covered.
So yeah, now the question is, you know, if you're simpLe, do you go for the legend swap? No, sticking with the Azuri, just feeling, you know, yeah, you had a couple of mistakes, can adapt in the next game. We're gonna have to see what adaptations are made. We work our way over to Fortress.
Man, I'm glad we don't see any legend swaps just yet. I know you said that in the previous set we would have liked to see one after game one. I don't really think either player here needs to go for a legend swap. I think they were both very comfortable in their picks, and I think it's just going to take like a game or two for maybe someone like simpLe to adjust around that spear, bow, differentiating play styles that Fozey's able to juggle.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, it's like, I do think it's very much, you know, a game plan adaptation that needs to come out from simpLe. You know, it needs to be just more on point with their punishes. Because, you know, Fozey, they played well, but they didn't play perfect. It's just a matter of, you know, can simpLe continue, capitalize on it and continue those openings where they weren't able to in the first game.
And look at this, look at these reads now. simpLe's going for these strings, immediately backs up, doesn't try to string them together like they did in game one. And so simpLe, if they could just maintain this, Fozzy's already off stage, trying to set up for the signature, but simpLe decides not to go for it.
Yeah.
With Fozzy off stage yet again. Big macro game change coming out from simpLe.
Yeah, like the giving Fozzy the space to come back on stage, almost like baiting out that approach, really, really good adaptation, leads into the first stock being taken.
Now the big question is if simpLe can just rack up enough damage to make Fozzy pressured into... Never mind! Fozzy can do it themselves! Oh no!
What are you doing down there, bud?
Oh no, that wasn't even like a big brain picture change from simpLe. That was just punishing a big mistake from Fozzy. Overstepping a little bit, didn't maintain their jumps or their recoveries. And now Fozzy's down to their final stock.
Yeah, I mean, very big ask here for Fozzy. Able to get, you know, the first stock of a potential comeback, but again, it's like, it's so much work you have to put in to get there.
And simpLe has those guitars. Might be a little bit difficult in theory to get up close and personal against the spear, but simpLe makes it work. It's up to Fozzy, though, to maintain that space again. Dancing around the ledges, completely unafraid after what happened in stock 2. Okay. simpLe. Racking up that damage again, just trying to end what Fozzy had essentially started. But no, the offstage potential doesn't work. Fozzy instead is able to take advantage of the fact that the weapon throw didn't connect. And now, just looming over simpLe, like a demon, a phantom. It's up to simpLe to exterminate, and he goes here for game number 2. But again, just Fozzy barely holding on. It's the down air for 1, but no, simpLe's not there to punish it again.
Yeah.
Almost done, and there's the recovery.
That is exactly what I was looking for. Like, simpLe, just, they know. They, even accounting for the SD from Fozzy, simpLe's doing such a better job of resetting after they actually get the hit. You know, saying, all right, I'm not going to be able to get these long, drawn-out strings, so I'm just going to, you know, wait for the dodge, wait for you to jump on, and a combination of that and the SD leads to a confident 2-stock here in that second game.
But you can't rely on an SD every single game, so simpLe can't formulate that into the plan. So what can Fozzy do here? It's Miami Dome. This could benefit the spear a lot more with the small platforms in between. A lot more chances for recovery plays, sending simpLe into the air, which we haven't seen a lot of. But early damage has been applied, and by early I mean like a single hit between both. But it's really going to be coming down to, like you said, those kind of resets that simpLe has been able to achieve after finding those opening strings.
And that's the thing is, like, I think even, again, accounting for the SD, like, simpLe was just playing better in that last game. Like, I think even not accounting for that, simpLe just played very, very well. So that could be a bit of, like, loss of composure on Fozzy's end. Maybe they just need to, you know, dial it back, regain that kind of momentum, that tempo they had in the first game. We're going to see simpLe not able to touch the wall, and yeah, there's the composure coming out, dialing it back, and we got a 1-stock lead here for Fozzy.
Yeah, and that's a strong lead right there. Fozzy, similar to game number 1, was able to have that lead. Again, just be careful off stage, both of you. We've been seeing a lot of really shaky off stage play, kind of like this right here. simpLe does take advantage of the fact, though, down air, and well, what did I just say?
What did you just say? I mean, Fozzy clearly didn't hear it. No in-game coaching allowed.
Ah, dang it.
Still, very close game. I mean, it's one of those moments where it's like, darn, I was off stage, I thought I had the read, but I was just a little bit too far off. Oh my goodness. I mean, they're both at like yellow health, but we're fearing for their lives. That's just how this set has been going with how the off-stage game has been.
I know, all this offstage play is making my hair go grayer and grayer. Both of these players have interesting interactions off stage, but now that it's more of a grounded neutral game, I think this is good for Fozzy. simpLe, though, is still gonna maintain that distance, just wait for those punishes or find a punish potential off of Fozzy, but it's almost like an addiction. Both these players just want to play off stage so bad, but Fozzy has that spear, still trying to have simpLe on stage for an easier punish time. But there we go, recovery. We can see why now.
Yeah, and both just like, they're both sticking to the center. I think they've had enough of being off stage.
Maybe you spoke too soon.
I shouldn't have said anything. The commentator's curse. Why does it always happen? Why does it always happen?
Fozey!
All right, rather uneventful anticlimactic end to that edgeguard sequence. We're back off stage once more, but no, nothing gonna end up happening out of that.
What's interesting about this game is that, in this one in particular, is that it's not really about the hits or like the stocks being taken down. I would say it's more the lack of hits happening. Like looking at the dash dances and all the different spacing that we're seeing from both these players, that tells a much larger story about how the approaches have been beneficial, and it leads to an even game.
All right, white health bars all around. Fozey with the weapon, but pushed to the side of the stage. See how well they can maintain it. Grabs the bow, so important here. Don't give simple an inch to work with.
Oh, he took a mile instead. The sword is out now. Sword versus bow. Fozzy's leaning towards the offstage play. simple down air from simple is good. But no, instead Fozzy's there for the punish. Gets back onto the stage. It's up to simple again. Don't give Fozzy anything. Probably not looking forwards to the spear, but Fozzy's gonna maintain the bow. Picks it back up after throwing it away. Orange to yellow. Fozzy does have a wealth of defense to work with here, but if they keep getting juggled into the air, it might not matter. It's up to simple. A prime spot to end this game right here. Fozzy's running out of options for the ledge control. Needs to hold on, but no, the down air comes out, and simple takes the lead.
And yeah, Fozzy, they went for it all right there. I think there was weapon spawning on stage too that just said, no, I need to bet it all, and it did not pan out. So simple taking the lead here, 2-1. Fozzy's got to work through 2 games to make it back. And we do see the legend swap coming out. Orion coming into play, get some more range to work with, get some more, I guess you feel more comfortable with that distance that you're able to maintain.
I don't know. Because you do have the spear, and that's been the most beneficial weapon for Fozzy thus far. They've been able to find the majority of the damage, but they've also taken a wealth of damage in that process too. Like simple's been able to find those entry points, and it just punishes with a variety of strings, and it kind of just brings Fozzy off stage. But this is Fozzy's pick. Like, Orion is Fozzy. We saw so much of BCX, we saw so much of it in 2022. I think this Lance might be that win condition factor to stop simple in his tracks, but it might bait out simple to play more aggressive in the air, and that's a lot of punch potential that Fozzy can take advantage of too with either the lance or the spear. It's just a matter of going for those reads before it actually happens, just anticipating what simple can do.
And I mean, I think that interaction right there is going to exemplify this entire game. You know, Fozzy doing such a good job of maintaining distance, but they go for one read too far, and then simple closes the gap, gets a good amount of damage on, and has the life lead here on this first stock.
It's just like the last game where there was a substantial amount of less damage being applied to both players, but it was more about just having those reads and dancing around each other to see what the spacing looks like. But Fozzy, off of this new legend swap, loses that opening stock, and we haven't really seen the full extent of the Orion yet. Most of the signatures haven't connected, and the Lance hasn't really made much of a mainstay appearance yet.
Yeah, I mean,
well, as I say that.
I mean, when it comes to Orion as well, though, like, I feel like when you pick this legend, that kind of space is what you're going for, more so than like the actual connections themselves. It's just kind of giving yourself the room to breathe. So you have the time, you know, you have the ability as the game goes on to kind of mix up when you go for those kind of call-ins.
Yeah, and now we're seeing that from Fozzy. Now we see the game plan, just kind of rotating from left to right to left of the stage, and just going for that chip damage, but it applies so much knockback to simple too. The strings starting up, Fozzy's allowing simple to go for the approach, and Fozzy has those punishes, but simple now has the sword. The sword, a little bit more difficult, has that great string potential back off stage, and Fozzy has always been a little shaky off stage, at least in this series. So I'm curious to see what the spear can do here, but Fozzy immediately ejects from the offstage, goes back onto the main stage, but gets juggled by simple with all the sword play. This sword is going to be the absolute bane of Fozzy's existence here with the Orion pick, and we're seeing it right now, trying to go for all these different recoveries, barely makes it back onto the stage. Simple does have the ledge guard, but Fozzy's able to maintain and reset the jumps just in time, but still loses that second stock.
Fozzy went for like 5 reads in a row and didn't get hit.
Yeah.
Simple literally just waited every single one of them out, gets the perfect punish, and it leads to this stock advantage here in potential last game of the set.
Yeah, and the spear, it means everything right now. I still want to see more lands coming up from Fozey, but it's really the comfort choice of the spear that's making the mainstay appearance. Attempted spike, doesn't connect against simpLe. Look how much damage has been applied to simpLe here. If they just lose that second stock, this might be a chance for Fozey to make that turnaround. simpLe's off stage yet again. Fozey overextending, can't grab the ledge! And simpLe takes it with a 2-stock lead.
I mean, God, you felt the desperation. You really did. Fozey just wanted so badly to close out the stocks, but it was overconfidence. It was overextension, and simpLe, too good of a player to be able to do that against, you know, literally every single time. Every single time simpLe was ready for a punish. So yeah, I mean, that's the experience, that's the composure coming in. I mean, they are both people who have been in the scene for a very long time, but simpLe
Absolutely.
just coming out on top there in that set.
Well, it's always interesting in Winter Champs because it's, again, the beginning of the new year.